Hi, this is Simon Chan, and welcome to my No BS, No Hype network marketing training. One of the joys of coaching and why I love this business is about helping people. And I want to share with you someone today, Howard Yu from Melbourne, Australia, which recently became a silver director, and just watching him grow over the years. And by the way, if you like these short trainings, you should definitely check out my Insider Circle, where you get a weekly 90-minute training every single week. And Howard's one of those people who've been attending my trainings, and I've been able to help him, work with them, and watching him grow. If you want to learn more, go to simonwchan.com/insider, okay, to learn more about this weekly training program. And you can check it out. But let's go back to Howard. He wanted to be silver, and actually, from the start, I knew he was special, had great leadership qualities, got it, and surprisingly, it actually took a lot longer than I expected. And so the first lesson I want to teach you is success is a journey. Don't compare your success to other people. And so, even though, I can understand if you're frustrated and you see other people advancing and you're not, I can sense that because I was exactly where Howard was. It took me a long time to reach a full-time Gold Director level. Relatively, it was like 2.5 years. I saw other people make it quicker. So I was frustrated to get a full-time income. But the thing is, success of the journey is not a race. Even though it took me shorter time, I got to the diamond much quicker than most other people, right? So everything this happens for a reason. And the most important thing is during that journey when, you may seem like you're spinning your wheels and things are not working well. You're wasting your time. You're actually not wasting your time because you're learning valuable lessons. And in this training, Howard's going to share with you. This is an excerpt from one of our weekly trainings. He's going to share with you how he became silver director. Okay, silver director earning over $1,000 in a week. And what he did was he actually shared you 3 tips. He went from people quitting on him, no one to talk to all of a sudden sponsoring 7 people in a week. And the 3 tips he shared with you. Number 1, a great lead source that he found out, that he discovered. And it really only happened after he had really hit the bottom, where someone he expected that was going to be really good quit on him. So that's one tip. The second tip you're going to learn is how he creatively got people to get started with a higher package, for 3 business center package, even though they didn't have money for it. And he didn't do the 1 business center, but he did a very creative way to package. The third thing is how he made the business seem so inexpensive using the law of contrast. So if you ever had a prospect that felt the business was too expensive, they didn't have money, he used a very, very good technique. So valuable training, and I'm really, really proud of Howard because most people, the reason they fail, when things don't go work out, they give reasons why it doesn't work out. And if anyone, Howard has plenty of reasons why it didn't work for him. Okay, but instead of doing that and complaining and giving reasons why, entrepreneurs, successful people, they think how. He just sat there, creative, brainstormed, and figured out these 3 great tips. And these are the tips that he'll share. So please take out a pen and paper, pay attention to this. These are the 3 tips to help him sponsor 7 people in 1 week, get his team going, and help them become silver director. So with that said, let's go check out the training right now. All right, so anyway, congratulations, okay? It's almost like finally it's happened. We've been waiting forever to do this. I think when Howard's been with a mastermind for a year now, one of the first members, he saw the value of the coaching and came in. And I think he asked, from day one, he always asked great questions, very good questions, leadership questions about the business, very sharp in perspective. I thought he'd be, I thought he'd be silver very quickly. I think a lot of us thought he'd be silver very quickly. And then all of a sudden, then he surprised us and took forever. And he's like, what's wrong with this guy? And then he finally made it. So I was telling him, like, because it took you forever and a lot longer, you probably learned the most of anyone because you went through a lot of pain and suffering, and you definitely hated the business. So share with everyone a little bit how you got started. I mean, you're from Malaysia, you're studying in Melbourne. How did you get started in the business? Why did you do network marketing?
First of all, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. Hey, you're a little hot. Why don't you lower your mic a little bit?
Right now?
Yeah, a little bit better. Okay, go. So how did you get started in the business?
Okay, I'm actually from Malaysia. I'm a final engineering student in Monash, Australia. So I've been in Melbourne for 3 years. So when I first started the business, I was just only 1 year in Australia. So I would say I'm pretty new to Melbourne. And how I get started in network marketing is that because most of my friends that I've known, I didn't really know what they were doing, but they've been mentioning a couple of times of the company brand called Usana. So I thought they were running their own company, distributing their own supplements, manufacturing their own. So I was thinking, hey, why not I should check it out? Since all of them are talking about business all the time, and I always feel like I'm left out. So one night during the winter break, I actually called up my friend and I went up to my friend's house. I said, can you tell me more about it? So what my friend did, my friend is a diamond director. So everyone were in jumpers and it was 12 o'clock in the midnight. And he didn't tell me about the products. He didn't tell me about the company. He didn't tell me about the industry. All he did was just telling me, you're there, 2 weeks, that's how you make, that's how much you earn. And I was like, yep, sign me up, I was like, I didn't really know what I signed up myself for. And it was a really good decision for me to do that. So after I signed up, and my upline, Christine, I think most of you have seen her before, she made a bet with Louis that I will quit within 2 weeks after the business. It was because of the way I was, because before I joined the business, I spent lots of money. I was living like a very, very luxurious lifestyle, people who don't care, and all of them really make a big bet, So if I were to quit 2 weeks, Christine had to pay someone else a lot of money. So what happened is after 2 weeks, I was still in the business. After 2 months, 6 months, after 1 year, so this is where I am. Okay.
So let me ask you, who bet that you would quit? Who said you would quit?
Christine were betting with Tony and Louis. So all of them were like betting that I will quit within 2 weeks.
I see. Did you know about this bet, or did you find out later?
I only knew this bet after I got to Achiever a while later.
I see.
They make a bet. So
that's the lesson. But you never discriminate or prejudge people, right? There are people who you think are going to be great, and this is how I'm sure you're going to share the story. You always tell, I got these new leaders. They're going to be great. They're going to be really good. I'm going to be silver so quickly. And every time you said that, they all quit, right? They never worked out. All these people he had high hopes on, all didn't work out. So you really never know who's going to be good, who's not going to be good. You can never, the former NBA coach, Rudy Tomjanovich at the Houston Rockets, said you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. You never know. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so some people might ask, why did I actually sign myself up for this? I think initially when I joined the business, I spent too much money, so I need a bit of income. But after a while, I realized that there are two main things that really motivates me in the business. So the first thing is actually because all I knew is that there is always a good opportunity for me to prove myself to achieve bigger goals, but I didn't have the platform. I knew I deserved better because I knew as myself, my true identity is I can't settle for just an engineering degree or just 9-to-5 job. So what I see is this is a really good opportunity that my friend offered me to do something much bigger, because my parents, my friends, all they talk about is employment, all they talk about is their salary, all they talk about is debts. And most of my friends graduated as an engineer and they couldn't get a job for a couple of years. As they graduated as an accountant, as a lawyer, and they were really, really struggling to get a job in Australia as well as Malaysia. So before I graduated, when I was in year 2 in engineering, I was like, it kind of strikes me where I wouldn't want to be in the position after I graduate, being without any direction, without any hopes in terms of sustaining your life. So I see this as a chance for me to prove to myself that I could achieve bigger goals compared to my friends. Because most of the people nowadays that they see that graduating with a professional degree is a big goal. But I see that it's just an entrance to hell, going to the rat race. It just gets started. So I'm very careful with my time right now, because if I don't want to be in their shoes, I couldn't be doing the same thing as them. So I did something different, which is just signing up this network marketing business and then putting lots of time and effort and hours instead of partying, alcohol, hangouts, movies. I put it in the business because I know that if I do something different, I will definitely have different results compared to them. So that's one thing, you get to know our true identity. is you want to be in that position or you want to be a better position. So the second thing is that it's about my dad, okay? Because having the opportunity to study in Melbourne is it doesn't come by easily for Malaysians because it's really expensive for us to study here. Yeah, in terms of Malaysian ringgit, we have to pay up to more than 150 grand a year just to study 1 year, including tuition fees. So that's a lot of money for us. And my dad's been working really, really hard. He runs his own company, engineering company in India. So I could see that the hours he put in, the time that he had to travel around the world just to put food on the table and put me here to study. I really don't want to see myself doing the same thing as him, but not saying that it's not good. I don't really see my dad that often because he's been traveling around the world all the time. So with that, I wouldn't want to be in that position for my kids in the future. So I'm more like a visionary where I want to have an ideal future for myself, give me an opportunity to build it so that I have a better position in it compared to everyone, compared to my friends, compared to my parents, my family. I'm not saying they're bad, but I just want to be better because in the 90s, that would definitely be good for the time. But in the 21st century, we got to know that we got to adapt to the 21st century and be better so that we don't lose out in the 21st century. Yeah.
Good. So good. So let me ask you something. I know you definitely learned a lot. So I remember you going silver. You can at one time prospecting was a challenge, and then you were able to sponsor. And you wanted to go to silver. It seems like so many times, and each time it didn't work out for you. This is what, your third attempt, fourth attempt?
Third attempt.
Third attempt. Okay. So what happened to the first two attempts? What happened? How come it didn't work out?
Okay. So I started the business in July, and I got to a builder in October, and I got to an achiever in February. So in February, I had the momentum because I was in Malaysia from November to February. So I was actually going to Newmarket at the rank of a builder. But the reason that I decided to go there because I'm a Malaysian because it's my home place, so I had the confidence to actually do something about it. And I signed a couple of people in Malaysia and was doing really well. It's not to say exceptionally well, but it has momentum right there. But after I left, I wanted to have the simultaneous momentum between Malaysia and Australia. So what happened was in Malaysia, it kind of collapsed because those people, it's really tough for them because all of their friends, because in Malaysia, there's more than 400 network marketing companies, and it's really competitive. And all of them, they're relatively new. So they signed up in the month of December, and I left in February. So it's a big mistake for me to do that, and they don't have the physical support from me as well and the team. And there's just a group of 10 people in Malaysia, and all of them just left. So those people are the ones that actually got me to Achiever. So what happened? Let's fast forward to the month of July. So I told Simon, hey, you know what? I've got a new momentum again coming up, and I'm gonna hit silver by the 31st of July. I remember clearly because you mentioned you set it out in the mastermind group, and they gave me a huge pressure to perform. So I actually signed up a couple more people, and what happened was it kind of built up momentum, and they left again because they were not the right people to actually do the business. I felt that because in this business, you have to have really serious people in the bus. Right? It's like a bus. You have serious people in the bus. If they're not serious, they're not the right person. There's no point convincing the people to stay in your business if they're not part of the future. That's one thing I really learned. Okay, because the more time you convince, the more effort you convince, if it is not the right people, if they're not part of the future, it's not going to work out. Even if they stay, you're going to waste more time because they're going to quit eventually in the future. So I learned to let go, and I built up again. So this is another new momentum. I told Simon, hey, you know what? I've been signing up once every 2 weeks. PCs, associates is building up, and one of the associates, this was a very promising associate because it's a group of engineers. They are year one. They're really great people. What happened is I sat down with him, I prepared a plan. Hey, you know what? I told Simon, I'm going to hit silver on 21st of September. And this is the plan, okay? So you get to PP, you get to PP, I get to silver. That's it, all right? It sounds really easy. So what happened? A week later, he gave me a call. say, you know what, Howard, I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to cut off the old order and I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna do this because it's gonna take too much time. And that really hit me because I thought that I was confident hitting silver easily, without doing much effort, just getting PP, and that really got me going. Okay, so what happened? He called me on the. He told me that on the 26th of August. Okay, he told me that on the 26th of August, which is 3 weeks before my run, and I told Simon, hey, you know what? This guy, he left the business, and I was really devastated because there's so many times I wanted to get silver, but it's so hard to get there. People keep quitting, keep come and go. It's so hard. I asked my upline what's going on. They say that it's not my problem, it's their problem. Okay, because I believe it's their problem because I can build one solid leg, and it's nothing wrong if it's not really difficult to build another one. So I told Simon, after this guy left, I signed up myself to 3 networking seminars. And I talked to John Emmanuel Batista. I'm like, hey, John, how did you meet new people? And that was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was in a computer. I was kind of sad. And I messaged, hey, John, how's it going? Congrats on the silver. How did you meet new people? And he messaged me this new app. I think you guys should really check it out as well. It's called the Meetup app, where you can host many kinds of network events. So I registered myself to a few good ones, meet new people, and from then onwards, I learned how to network with people. All my weekday nights, I spent on networking with people. I didn't spend at home and just thinking about why people quit, why I didn't make it. But I just spent one night, that's it, message John, message Simon, and get things going. So the following week, get to networking events, build my contact list right away. And in Malaysia, I did webinar, everything. I signed up 3 BCs and get things rolling. 2 more 3 BCs, few more 1 BCs. In a total, I signed up a total of 9 people in 2 weeks. All right. So the week before, I signed up 4 people, and then I signed up on Saturday, which is the cutoff date, and I pumped everything up, string people in, set up 9 people in total. Of course, with my help, my upline as well. And the most crucial thing is that people still pull out within the 2 weeks during my run, and that was really, really depressing. It's like, I'll tell myself, this is not going to happen again because it has happened a couple of times. I told myself, I'm going to make it happen because Simon has said, just got to make it happen. Okay? because I hit silver on 14th of September, and I actually got silver on the paper on the 7th of September because the cutoff date for Australia is Saturday. I got everything on paper. I got a silver. And Sunday, I messaged Simon, hey, you know what? Something happened again. I really, really, really want to cry. And it's like, I thought I got silver. I could relax the whole week. So what happened is the whole week, get myself to networking events, build up a rapport, follow up with people. And on Friday night, on the 13th of September, 4 a.m. in the morning, I got one last 3 BC, and that really got me to silver. So, because the 13th of September was Mike Cahias, he came down to have a chat, come out to do the presentation, and I was only a few hundred points away. So before I left from Mike Cahias, like it's 7:30, so before I left at 6, there's this one prospect I met up in Meetup, and she was a really nice person, and she messaged me, hey, how kid? I really want to get started right now. And I was like really shocked, because I've been meeting her so many times, following up, showing her that this business is possible. And suddenly she just tells me on Friday, because her plan was she wanted to check out a few meetings first, a few of our trainings, and she wanted to sign up. So I'm really surprised that before Mike Hayes, she signed up. And after Mike Hayes, I got a few more 1BCs, and bam, I got it at 4 a.m. in the morning. And that's how I got silver.
Wow. So how many people did you sponsor during the silver run?
I personally sponsored 7 people, and 5 3BCs, 2 1BCs, and 2 more 1BCs are the referrals of my upline, Christine.
Wow, congrats. Very, very, very cool. So let's talk about your challenges. Okay, when you had these challenges, like people quitting or not, you feel down. I mean, you talk about the person that quit But Howard even mentioned this. He messaged me saying the reason that person quit, the leader that's supposed to be PP, quit. I think you're too busy and the parents didn't allow them to do it, something like that, right? And so, how did you? One of the things we talk about is, don't just copy what successful people do. Copy how they think. It's the mindset and how they approach. It's almost like as I grow to be more and more in business, everything is about the mindset and and it goes back to your values, how you react to certain things. So what was going on in your mind when the person dropped out, and how did you overcome that challenge?
When someone drops out, the first thing is last year or earlier this year, the first thing that came to my mind is why they quit, and I keep blaming myself because I thought I was not good enough. And it's like I focused too much on the why. But after a while, I learned from Simon is entrepreneurs think how to make it happen. It's all in the mind, you see. And because when you think why, all the negativity about yourself it builds up. You're gonna blame yourself. You're gonna say that you're not good enough. Your leadership skills are not good enough. Your prospecting skills are not good enough. Your retention skills are not good enough, and that's already builds up, and it's do you more harm than good. Okay, so actually you're bludgeoning your own mental mind rather than recovering it. So the best way to actually overcome that challenge is you got to think how to make things happen. So like on my poster back there, you always tell yourself you gotta get excited and make things happen. You see, the key is you gotta get excited because when you get excited, people feel it. When people feel it, people want to get things along. And real entrepreneurs, they always think how to make things happen. So it's just the only way how to make things happen is you're gonna move on. The only thing to how to overcome the challenge is you're gonna keep sponsoring more people, keep looking for the next. For me, I'm gonna look for the next Howard. Simon's been telling me since last year. You haven't looked for the next Howard yet. You're gonna keep looking, keep talking to new people, keep meeting new people, and eventually you meet the new Howard. You want to meet the next Howard, and that's gonna get your business get going. So that's one thing. So in the business, as long as you're in the business, you never know who you meet in the future. You never know who you help. So once you get the 3% leader, that's gonna really fill up that's really gonna get things really moving like a snowball.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of great things. The first thing is, I remember Howard back in the last year. He always asked about leadership, how do you create the culture, and he had what am I doing wrong? How do I get people to remember that? Why do they? It goes back to the society in general, right? The 27% whiners, 65% followers, 5% supporters, and 3% leaders. Why do people quit? I don't know why they quit, right? It's like Jim Rohn says, don't chase the birds. You can't tell. Don't sign up for that course. Why are some people, for example, on this mastermind call now, wanting to learn while other people watching Monday Night Football? Why? I have no idea why, right? Why are some people, it's in the daytime in Australia, they figure a way to get on this other, you don't know why it's just, you can't figure it out. So I was telling Howard, he's thinking of my leadership, how am I training people, why are people quitting? I said, hey, at that time, Howard wasn't sponsoring enough. You just started, you sponsored like 2 people, 4 people. I said, you got to start bringing people, because the people there are not the leaders you're looking for. You're looking for the next Howard. And leaders lead by sponsoring. And lead yourself. If you have no one to lead, you lead yourself. And I think in just this, in this group here, there's tons of people. We're over like right now, 25 motivated people. So that shows you these people exist. You got to go out there. And if things are not working, like I said, don't give reasons why it doesn't work. Think of how. How can it work? Because the next Howards, Guillermo's, Mark, and what they're there. They're out there. You just have to find them. And if you're not finding them fast enough, think of how can you find them quicker? How can you do it better? Right? So, the Benson before put it in there, like, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out a reason why. And some people will quit. Some people, it doesn't make any sense. It goes back, you never know. You just never know. But if you just keep sponsoring, you eventually bring in that 1 or 2 people that will start doing things. So did you do during this run? Did you do anything creative, Howard? Creative. I mean, we talk about how. Did you do anything different marketing? Okay, I guess aside from Meetup, right? Meetup, you learned something. And that's, again, the value of being in a mastermind group, networking. I mean, you connected John Batista, who shared before a couple months ago how he became silver. And that alone, for example, right, is worth being in the mastermind. That one tip. And again, successful people just look for one tip. You got the one tip from John how to use Meetup. You probably, Howard, didn't think about that before. But you connected them. You have a relationship with John. He lets you know about Meetup, shared. And all leaders, the givers, will give. Well, the more you give, the more you get back. You share the thing about Meetup, and that helped you become silver. Could be that one tip. So the networking is so important. Aside from the Meetup, any other creative things you did, Howard?
All right. I'm gonna talk a bit about John first, because I think the importance about networking is just not about outside Isana. I think it's really important to network across lines in mastermind group, because so right now me and John, because he has downlines in Melbourne, and I have a couple in Perth. So right now is since he helped me out, he actually asked me a favor to help him out with his leaders in Melbourne, and currently we're doing a partnership, so a cross-line thing. And as you can see, as you network with people among other teams of cross-lines and stuff, with just one tip, that actually got me to silver. So all you need is just one tip from anyone, and that could earn you lots of money. So that is one thing creative. And the next thing I did was my website, because I launched it after convention, and that actually got me a couple leads as well, building up. I wouldn't say those leads are really promising, but the thing is, when you have a website, very solid website, after Simon had gave me the feedback, that creates a lot of credibility to me. So when I go to network events, when I meet new people, I say, hey, check out my website. You can get a few tips from there about entrepreneurship. For those who are people better than me, I don't offer them my tips. I always ask them, how can you help me to be better? Can you give me some feedback? I know you're really successful and professional. Why don't you check out my website and give me a few feedbacks? So for people in the network events who are really looking for help, I say, hey, check out my events. I've got a free newsletter. I have a free some offer. I've got some tips in there. Why don't you check it out and then subscribe to it? I'll get in touch with you. All right. So it's how we network among people and how to use the website to leverage to increase the credibility. So then, yeah.
Go ahead.
So the next thing I did was marketing on Facebook to attract attention. Because previously my marketing was not to say very stable, it's inconsistent. So what Simon that they mentioned about the marketing campaign that you do on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Instagram, you have to be consistent. So after I put up a lot of content on my website, I did, so there's a blue button, Facebook button to share. So it makes it really easy. I say to my downlines, hey, you know what, to my friends, hey, I'm running a website, I recently launched it, could you please do me a favor and just click the share? And to increase my exposure in marketing on Facebook. And I did post up a couple of posts on my Facebook, and that really got people's attention. Those posts are way before from my newsletter. I just copy and paste on my website, and just they really love the content, and that creates a credibility again. So right now you have this strong foundation, everything. When you talk to people, it's going to be very different. So before that, when my friends say, hey Howard, can you please can you please stop wasting your time and do all this? You're wasting your time. I mean those haters, okay? Because just a bit about my high school life. Because during my high school, I'm really embarrassed to tell this, but I used to be a bully victim because people tend to bully me. Because I always kind of got a guy who wants to always want to fit in, because I know that I'm better. So I wanted to fit in, and I did lots of stupid things just to fit in, and many people really take advantage of that, So with those haters before from high school, they really trash talk me. They personally Facebook me and message me, can you please stop this bullshit? You're not going anywhere. And I'm like, cool, you know what? But the good side is when people who think the same way as you, they support you, right? And with that, when you talk, people see that you change. People see that you're very consistent for over the year, and they know you're really serious at the business. When they know you're really serious, they are more keen to be part of you. So I have a couple of close friends of mine in Sydney. They're not haters. They've been good friends of mine from college, and he wasn't really supportive of me in the first place. But after he seen the marketing I did, the website I did, on how serious I am, and I haven't talked to him about the business at all. All I talked to him about the products because he do lots of workout, and he helps me to distribute a couple of products as a favor to me. He wasn't in the business, but he helped me to distribute a couple of products just to get me some points. It's not lots of points, but I really do appreciate that my friends started to support me by the intention that they have. So I was really honored to have my friends initially who doesn't care what I do to help me distribute the products, and they didn't want the commission as well. They didn't want the commission. I just do it out of good favor. And the next thing I did is I offered a 3 BC pack on a very good price because 1 BC is $375 Australian dollars. For 3 BC is $850. Okay, so I offered them a 3 BC pack at $460. So that's half price of an original 3 BC pack. So how I did it was because 3 BC is always 500 points. Is that correct? 500 points, and 1 BC is 200 sales volume points. So I actually because previously they had this 400 points 3 BC pack, and I was thinking, hey, why did the 400 points pack is gone? And I called out the company. I read the policy. I say, so I found out that in order for you to have activate 3 BC, you need at least a 400 points in the first 6 weeks to get a 3 BC pack. So the first month I did a 300 points customized pack, so I'm eligible for 10% discount. And on the second month they had 100 points auto order, and that contributes to 400 points. So I told my prospects, you can pay just $400 instead of $850, half price, just get a 3 BC pack and get started on the business. And that really attracted lots of people because I actually cut down the expenses by 50% and get them the same deal as a 3 BC business model. And with that, they really see the value in 3 BC because I know a lot of them really wanted 3 BC but they didn't have the money. So I use this customized 300 points pack with the auto order and get them for 3 BC. So instead of them signing up for 1 BC, I get an additional 100 points from their initial order to get me up to silver.
Very good. You guys will follow that? Creative way to get someone with 3 BCs. 300 points plus 100 point auto order, right? Gives you 400 points. Very smart. So again, it goes back to not explaining, oh, people don't have the money, they're poor, don't have the money. It's giving reasons why. You're being creative. Again, entrepreneurs, it's not why it doesn't work. How can you make it work? How? It's very creative. Very good. So consistency too, right? By the way, we got a great idea, a lot of great ideas today. From thank you, Howard. We learned about the meetup, creative ways to get started with 3 BC. And one more tip, Howard. Go ahead. You said you have one more tip?
Yeah. So I did lots of cold market prospecting. And one thing about cold market is after all the presentation and everything, I think this applies to friends and family as well. So what I always do is, when I explain the 1 BC and the 3 BC, I always explain the 3 BC, the pro pack first. Okay, the pro pack is $2,300 Australian. So I always explain the professional pack first, and I always give them the impression there are no other options, right? It's just impression. I didn't say there's no other options. I just, hey, you know what? This is how you get started. And I asked them, so what do you think? Is $2.5 grand viable investment for you? And they got them really thinking. So I said, hey, you know what? I think 2.5 grand is too much for you. Why don't you give me an offer, and then I help you and I make a deal with you? Okay. So most of the people, surprisingly, they wanted to invest one grand on average. Some say 1.5 grand, some say $900. They give me an offer of 1 grand. So I give them a counter offer, which is not really a counter offer, it's original pack. So I say, you know what? I give you a good offer. You just need to invest $850. How's it sound like? So that actually made them feel a lot better compared to what they offer, and they make $850 sound a lot cheaper than the initial offer, and that really got them started.
Wow, so you give a counter offer of $1,500. $1,500 is for the 3 BC.
Oh, no. I told them the pro pack is 2.5 grand.
Yeah.
And I asked them, so can you give me an offer? How much are you willing to invest? Because I think 2.5 million is too much for you. And they give me a counter offer of an average of $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000 to $1,500, and I make a counter offer. Why don't you invest $850 for 3 months and get you started right away?
Very clever. Very clever. And by the way, there's nothing. He's not lying about the Pro Pack being $2,500 because you can create your own Howard version of the Pro Pack, right? You can sell whatever package you want. You guys will follow that? So the Pro Pack is really how much does it cost in Australia? That's really good pricing, $2,300. So he's saying $2,500, and most people he only talks about the Pro Pack. So this is like selling cars, almost like prospecting, right? So $2,500. So like the person says, I don't have $2,500. So I know you really want to get started. How much would you? Let's negotiate. What would be fair for you? I mean, make it cheaper. And he said, well, $1,000. After he states 1,000, the person basically committed he's going to spend 1,000. So it's actually, okay, how about this to help you out? I'll give it to you only for $850. You guys follow? That's really clever. Who taught you that?
It just popped out of my mind when I was prospecting this cold market, because I was just drawing like a piece of paper. I just draw half. I just write on one side. Don't draw any lines. Because when you draw a line, you give me the impression that you're going to show another pack. So I just, on one piece of paper, just draw on the Pro Pack. And I was thinking, hey, I didn't have any space to present the 3PC. Why don't I just give him an offer and test it out, how much are they willing to invest? Because I want to know what they're thinking in their mind. Because we can't honestly ask them, can you tell me how much you can invest? Because that's a bit, they don't really tell because they don't trust you.
Right.
So you kind of negotiate with them in terms of counter offer. So we want to see how much they truly see the value of the business and how much are they willing to invest.
No, that is so smart, man. That's really good. You know how you get these ideas? When you all you do is focus on the business. It's deep in your subconscious mind. You work in the business. You go through a lot of things that don't work. You prospect, consistency. The more you do it, you start learning how to read people. It's really good. It's really, really good. Very good. And goes back to the law of contrast we talked about. Like, I think last time we talked about, Mark, you're not going to pay $200 for $200 for a pair of shoes, right? But if you spend like $2,000 in a suit, then the $200 pair of shoes is not that bad, right? And you've committed, mentally you've committed, a person's committed to paying $1,000, so $850. Good. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. It's really good, really, really good tips here. Really good. 3 very good tips. Meetup. Number 2, being creative with the 1 BC pack. And number 3, the negotiations. Really creative. So when people say the business doesn't work, you tell them the full BS. It definitely works. You just have to be creative. The last thing is, so I mean, all throughout all the stuff, I've seen you change. How have you changed in this past year through all these trials and tough times? What's the biggest takeaway from your whole journey so far?
How much I've changed is there are many things I've changed. I've written down because actually I was preparing for this sharing before I got silver.
There's a tip. He sees a success before. Not like, hopefully I'm going to get it, or if I get it. He's preparing for this sharing already. Even though I didn't ask him, he prepared for it before he actually made silver. That's really good.
Yeah, because I've seen so many people sharing here, and I really, really want to be the one sharing here and not just listening here and get excited, and then the next thing I know is I'm back to reality. So I want to be the one sharing, helping people, and not just being helped and not and struggling in the business. So how I am different is marketing. Marketing is the one thing that is really, really plays a big role in my business, because most people, you gotta constantly market yourself online and offline, okay? Because people are always watching you 24/7. It's like when we run this business, want to prospect them, want to tell them that we're in business, we're in the spotlight. And with one wrong post on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any social media platform, your reputation is going to go down the drain. Because I see myself as one cup of water, and if you put a single drop of ink, that's going to taint the whole cup of water. So that's how your reputation is going to go down in this kind of industry or any business that you do. So people want to see that you're consistent in terms of marketing or presenting yourself or selling yourself. And because ultimately, we are our own walking billboard. And we are the big billboard. We walk around, we bring it everywhere we go. And also, personal development is a really, really big factor that increases your marketing value. Because people want to know what your true value is. What is the value that you're marketing? Because if you don't have a value and you market on the hype when people really talk to you, people gonna think that you're a waste of time. So personal development and marketing gotta go hand in hand. You gotta know the true value of yourself because ultimately you're selling yourself to the business, not the products of the business, not anything else. Because you're selling yourself. And once you have the value of yourself and you market yourself well, that's gonna give you a really good combination of marketing. You know? So always aim to increase your personal value and so that it increases your marketing value and ultimately everything's going to be much more effective in your network marketing business.
Yes. Since day one, you've always reached out to me for help. Never shy about that. Like you said, you always probably ask the best questions. What's the one, if you talk about all the things you learned, what's probably the one thing that you learned from me that helped you out the most?
One thing that you helped me is there are many, many, many things that you helped me. But one thing is personal development because I come from a background that I hated to read books. I really, really hated it. I hated to listen to audios or watch any self-help videos. And Simon told me if you're not earning, you're gonna be learning. Because I wasn't earning for the first couple months, and I knew that I need to do something that it works for a 3-star diamond. You see, because I know that if I want to be successful like Simon, I have to do what he do. If I want to be like Michael Hayes, I got to do what he do. And I realized that all of the top sponsors in the network marketing industries or any business or other entrepreneurs, one common thing that they do is personal development. So if everyone is doing the same thing and they got there, that's got to work. So I put myself in a position where I make a habit to read every day for 30 minutes. Sometimes 30 minutes in the morning, sometimes 30 minutes at night. And sometimes I read 2 hours to spread out to the whole day. Keep reading books. I have heaps of books on there. Just a couple of books on hard copy, but all of the books are on iPad, Amazon Kindle, everything. So it's kind of like a habit. If I don't read books, I kind of feel like, hey, I haven't achieved anything today. So self-development, I know most people really hate it because I hate it myself. Most new distributors, they don't have the habit of that. Most new distributors, they have the habit of watching dramas, hang out, everything. But for you to be really good in the business, to rank advance, to achieve at the top, self-development is the one thing that you must do. If you don't do self-development, it's like telling yourself that you don't want to do the business seriously.
Hey, thank you for sharing. You know what? I'm really, really proud of you. I think of the ones that we shared, Silver, you probably had the most difficult. I think everyone had a tough journey. You probably had one of the most difficult journeys. The fact that you had to do it 3 times. But success, in business, just like in life. Life is a journey, right? You're happy to be Silver, but sooner or later you'd be like the rest of us, or like Michelle, Bobby. You hit Silver, but you're bored of being Silver. Right? You're ready to go to the next level. But what makes it rewarding are the lessons that you learn. Okay, the lessons that you learn, and there's a reason for everything. And the reason why it was so hard for you, and all those people had to quit, and you had to go through 3. And you did say to me you hated the business because it's so frustrating. The reason you had to go through that was because you shared these 3 great tips. The meetup, the 3 creative way to get 3 BCs, and the negotiation way. If it became so easy, you would have learned those skills now, right? You wouldn't even know that. So it's amazing, and that's how it works. So if it takes you longer than other people, appreciate is that it's not the destination. Life is not about destination. It's about the journey. It's the journey to success. Remember, success is a letdown. The thrill is in the pursuit. It's the pursuit of success where you learn and you get it all. So thank you again, Howard, for sharing. Really good stuff. I'm really proud of you. And I think everyone got tremendous amounts of tips. People are inspired. You are going to be a diamond just having the mindset that you've been beat down, kicked down a few times. Even your upline bet against you. And when you get on stage, you have a great, great story to share. So thank you again for sharing. And I would actually go back and listen to this recording. Really good stuff here, especially those 3 tips. Being creative. And that's really what the difference of people who really do become successful in network marketing, they always find a way to make it work. It may not work for everyone, but that his way worked for Howard and his people. And you may borrow some of his ideas, take some ideas from someone, take some ideas from Howard, and then you come up with what works for you, right? So thank you again, Howard, for sharing. Really, really good stuff. One of the best, really, really good tips. So there you have it. You heard from Howard Yu. Congrats again, Howard. 3 great tips you can apply to your business, okay? Number 1, check out Meetup. Number 2, think about the way Howard used the get people started, even though they didn't have money, with a 3 business center, get with an in-between package, which he created by himself. Very, very entrepreneurial, very, very smart. And the third thing is how to use the law of contrast, right? Using negotiation tactics to make the business seem so much cheaper in the prospects. Because remember, everyone has the money. If people say they don't have the money, it's in somewhere in the mind. Okay, it's because they think it's expensive. But Howard did a very, very, very smart way to make it, getting the prospect to see how it was a great value, and it was really, really easy to get started with 3 business centers. So pay attention to that training. And by the way, if you love this type of training, these are the things. This was an excerpt taken from my weekly trainings. So if you want to learn more, go to Simon W. Chan/insider. Check out my Insider Circle training. Again, Simon W. Chan/insider. Last thing is, remember, we're in the profession to help others, so go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all.